house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 18 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Kevin Knipple. Hey Kevin! Kevin's been watching us for a really long time and I just want to give you an extra thank you. You're awesome. And Kevin wants to know, out of the house guests that are left right now, who's in my ideal final four and who do I want to see in the final two? That is a great question. I'm definitely on the Paul, Victor, Natalie, James, Michelle side. So final four, I guess I would say all of them except Michelle. I just think that she's done the least out of those four. And then final two, this is where it gets tricky because, okay, I guess I could get rid of James. I guess, right? I mean, I like him as a person, but I would like to see Paul because I think that he is a really good player and it's amazing to see how much he's grown as a player in this season, because I feel like he came into the house knowing nothing about the game. I remember him asking questions like, wait, so if you win the veto, can you go up on the block as replacement? So yeah, and then it's tough to pick between Victor and Natalie, but I think I would go with Natalie because even though she hasn't won competitions, she helped orchestrate that huge flip, to get rid of Paulie and everything. So I think that she deserves to be in the final two. Victor, he's really good at competitions, don't get me wrong, but I'm more into the strategic players. So that's who I would say, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm interested to see how you would answer that. Alright, so let's talk about what's going on in the house, because we got an eviction coming up. So James and Corey were chatting in the kitchen yesterday. Corey is trying to make sure he's good, so again, he's asking about Natalie's vote, and again, James is like, you know what, I don't tell her how to vote, so you're gonna have to talk to her. But he's telling Corey, yeah, she likes you, she likes Nicole, so it should be fine unless she's fooling all of us, myself included, so, just talk to her and see what's up. So then, James brings up Paulie's campaigning again. He's really pushing that to Corey. And he's saying, yeah, Paulie's telling everybody to use him as a weapon to take out Victor. And Corey's like, well, same here, doggy. I'm going to do that too. I'm not coming after you guys. So Corey is saying that the house would be crazy to vote him out. But he's still going to talk to Natalie about her vote. So he's saying, I've been loyal. I haven't screwed anybody over. I haven't initiated a single alliance. Yes, because you're not playing. You're not doing anything. You may have won a couple of competitions, but you had to freaking beg people to tell you what to do. So that's what all that is. But James is telling him, yeah, you should at least, go through the motions and, ask people for their votes. And James, I mean, he is trying to cause some stuff between Corey and Paulie because they want them to campaign against each other. But he is helping him out in a way, too, because I just heard Paul and Victor talking about today how it's really annoying them that Corey isn't even asking people for their votes. He's just assuming that he's going to stay, and that really rubs people the wrong way. So, just word to the wise, if you guys ever find yourselves in the house, make sure you freaking ask people for their votes. Okay, so we had a little pee-pee action yesterday. Paul and Paulie were chatting in the safari room, and Paulie's like, you know what? I think that James may have told Corey that I've been campaigning. He did. But, because Paulie's been all week, I'm not going to campaign against Corey. I'm not going to do this, Papa. So then he was like, yeah, I saw James and Corey talking, and when they noticed me, they, dispersed. So he's asking Paul, do you think I should talk to Corey about it? And Paul was just like, it's your call, man. Now we know that Paul wants those two to campaign against each other. So he's just like, yeah, talk to him. But he's telling him, it's up to you. If you want to go to him and say, look, I've been doing this. I'm not throwing you under the bus. If you want to do the same thing, that's fine. Go for it. No pressure. So then, Paulie is saying that he was talking to James and Natalie, and, maybe he would be able to sway them. So he wants to be able to get his potential voters all together as a group and pitch to them. And Paul is like, honestly, man, I think that people would be more comfortable talking without you there. Yeah, maybe with him out of the house. I think that's how they would really be comfortable. But again, Paul is just pulling his chain. There is no way he's going to be keeping Paulie this week. So then Paulie and Corey were talking in the Tokyo room, and They're both like, it sucks that we're up on the block together, blah, blah, blah. If it's not me that's gonna win, I want you to win, blah, blah, blah. That sort of thing. And then we know why Paulie's really talking to Corey. He's like, yeah, so it's good that you were talking to James before. So he's digging for info. He wants to know what that conversation was about. Did James tell you I've been campaigning? He didn't ask him out front, but Corey was just like, oh yeah, James was just checking how I'm doing. So, you know, there's a little bit of tension there because Corey does know that Paulie's been campaigning, but he doesn't bring it up to him. So then Nicole is getting nervous about this upcoming eviction. I almost said election. She should be nervous about that too. But anyway, she came out of the diary room crying. I guess they were recording their goodbye messages, and she was just like, I'm gonna be so pissed if you're evicted, Corey, and, like, it's really hard just for me to even think about it, and, like, I don't want you to go home. I'll be so angry. So then Corey was consoling her, and he was like, it's alright, like, I think I'm staying, but, you know, silver lining, if I do go home, people probably won't be coming after you anymore, you know, because we're a bigger threat when we're together. Like, if it's just you in the house, maybe you'll just slide by. But Nicole was upset because James has been acting weird lately. He's making weird comments that are making her feel like maybe Corey could possibly be going home this week. So Corey's like, you know what, you should go talk to James. Just, like, iron out your weirdness, you know, get rid of that, and it'll be okay. And she's just like, I don't feel like it. Seriously, Nicole, it's like the worst social game. But then she was telling Corey that he needs to talk to Natalie and confirm her vote for this week. So they go to the safari room to talk game. They're not actually going to talk to other people. But Corey is, like, looking ahead to next week. They feel like he's going to be okay. Like, they are a little bit worried about this week, but they think it's pretty much going to be okay. So they were talking about, you know, what would happen depending on who wins HOH next week. So Corey thinks that they're going to be safe as long as Paul does not win HOH. Little does he know that all these people are targeting them and will put them up on the block if they win HOH. Everyone except themselves. So he's really confident right now. He thinks it's just Paul against them, and Nicole's like, no, I feel like if Michelle won HOH, she would definitely put me up, maybe not you, but she thinks that Michelle will be going after the showmances. Good. But they feel like they're good with Natalie and James. They're just kind of assuming that they're going to work together with them and have, like, a showmances alliance. What? No. Okay, so then Nicole says if she wins HOH, she's going to be putting Paul and Victor up on the block. Alright. So, Paulie last night was talking Natalie's ear off in the bathroom. Of course, first he starts out by reciting his campaign again. Use me to take out Victor, and then you can get rid of me. I mean, he said it a million times. You know, it's not sticking, so you might need to change that up. But he was also saying, I want to know ahead of time if I'm going so that I can mentally prepare for the jury. It's going to be really rough for me being stuck because, like, I'm claustrophobic, and you've been locked up in this house for, like, 2 months. Don't be saying now that you're claustrophobic. So she was just like, She was just listening like a saint. So then Natalie was talking about how she didn't know anything about the game going into this, and she's just learned a lot by observing and everything, and Paulie's trying to... I didn't like what Paulie was saying. He was like, oh, so, like, James really showed you the ropes, huh? And she was like, no, I learned by, you know, playing this game for myself. It's kind of annoying how all these guys are assuming that, like, the girls just do whatever the guys want. It's just, like, really gross. But then they were talking about James, and Natalie was saying, I hope you don't have any hard feelings towards him for what happened last week. And Paulie, of course, is like, oh, no, of course not. Like, I love him. He's the best. I'm going to marry him. I added the last part. But, you know, he's not going to say that he's pissed at James because he wants to stay this week. So then they were talking about Zakiya for a long time, just kind of comparing notes on her about what Zakiya would say to each of them, because she would talk crap to Paulie about Natalie and all the other girls, and then she would talk crap about Paulie to the girls. So she was kind of playing both sides there. trying to get sympathy from everybody, and Pauly reveals that Zakiya called Natalie a fake little bitch, and Natalie was not happy about that. But Pauly also said that Zakiya tried to bang him, and he refused. Wait, no, that's not true, because he was freaking bragging to the guys about how they did it like 5 times. But whatever, you keep saying that. You just, whatever. Alright, let's talk about what's really important. Baldwin the Eagle was back. Victor. Oh my god. I am so obsessed with Victor's Baldwin the Eagle routine. So he was like holding the puppet up against the glass in the phone booth, looking into the London room, just yelling at James about how he owes him money. And it was so freaking funny. If you guys want to flashback, I made sure to pull the time for this because I love that much. 9:37 p.m. Cameras 3 and 4. Check it out. Alright, so then, Victor was entertaining most of the other house guests with a Baldwin puppet show, and Corey finally talked to Natalie while the others were occupied with that. So he was like, what are you thinking about for tomorrow? And Natalie was like, well, I feel really bad for Pauly. Like, he had a really rough week. And Corey's like, well, how are you voting? And she was kind of coy about it. She was just like, she didn't really give him an answer. And he was like, how are you voting? Like, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but how are you voting? He's so bad at campaigning. So then Natalie finally is like, yeah, I want to keep you this week, whatever. So then Corey's like, okay, cool. So, like, I guess it's us, James, and Nicole moving forward. Like, we gotta kill this HOH. Again, I feel like Corey and Nicole just expect James and Natalie to work with them without, like, putting in the work to actually set up a deal. So then, a little while later, I feel like Paul was kind of jealous of the attention that Victor has been getting and all the laughter that he's been getting with Baldwin the Eagle, because Paul decided that he also wanted to do a Baldwin puppet show. So he did his own thing. He was imitating and roasting all the house guests, and it was funny, but Victor just kills me. Oh my god, it's crazy. So they were kind of going back and forth with the puppet for a while. Nicole ended up peeing her pants again, so I guess she enjoyed it. That girl's gotta start wearing a diaper. I mean, really? How many times have we seen her pee her pants on this show? Okay, so then, after all that fun, there was a lot of chit-chat last night. Pauly campaigned to Michelle again. He was all, I'll take out Victor. And then Pauly, Corey, and Nicole were chatting in the safari room. The bros were drinking some beers from Corey's HOH basket. There was some sort of comment about how Pauly, like, had to talk to the diary room before he started drinking. I don't know if they were, like, worried about him or what, but anyway. Pauly was sharing his plan for what he's going to do if he has the round-trip ticket. So, obviously, he's going to win the HOH competition, and he's going to nominate Victor and Paul. Victor is his target, but if Victor is saved by the power of veto, he's going to go for Paul. So, in his nomination speech, he's going to be like, oh yeah, Victor, congratulations on your 5 competition wins, because nobody else counts your battle back wins. Oh my god, you need to get over it. It is so pathetic how they keep arguing about whether or not the battle back competitions count in the win tally. But then he's saying that if one of them were to be saved by the power of veto, James would go up on the block as the replacement. Okay, so then at some point in this discussion, Nicole leaves. Michelle joins the guys. So Pauly is trying to get Michelle to open up her ticket to see if it's a round trip or a one-way. He's been asking people to do this all week, and everyone's just like, no. Because why would they do that for him? You don't need to even give a reason. You shouldn't even have to give a reason. But Michelle's saying, what if they extend it? Or what if there's double eviction? Like, I'm not going to waste it like that. That's stupid. So then, Pauly, feeling all confident on his beer, was like, you know what would be really funny, Meech? It would be funny if after I left, you flipped back and worked with Corey and Nicole. Then you could, like, pull in James and Natalie so that they could have an almost whole house alliance again, because, yeah, that always works out. But Pauly is really trying to set it up so that everyone's going to go after Victor and Paul, but it's really not working. It's really not. Michelle's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm a lone wolf. She's trying to play it off like she's not working with Paul and Victor, but she definitely is. So today, it was a pretty late start for the house guests. But eventually, Paulie was asking Natalie and Paul. Well, okay. Natalie and Paul were in the London bedroom. Paulie walks in and goes, wait, what was the word he said? Oh, he was like, what's up, b-holes? We're like, oh yeah, that's a good way to get votes. But Paul's like, oh, what's up with you, Bloge? So Paulie asks them, like, be real with me right now. How are you guys voting? I need to know. So Natalie says, I'm gonna be honest, I'm keeping Corey. And Paulie's like, oh, okay, that's cool. So Paul is saying, I'm gonna have to go with the consensus. I just can't be sticking my neck out like that. And Paulie's like, yeah, I wouldn't want to have to ask you to be the only D-hay to vote me out. Don't forget, D-hay means dickhead in this season's language. So then James joins them. And Paulie is still going on and on about how he can take out Victor for them. He's like the only one who can beat Victor and get rid of him. And Paulie's, oh my god, this is ridiculous. He was telling them, like, I'll be able to cover up the votes for you guys. Like, I'll just say that I asked everyone for a sympathy vote and 3 people gave it to me. And then you guys will be covered. Really? You really think that's gonna work? That's the most ridiculous thing I've heard in like the last hour. And yes, I'm using a small time frame because we have to listen to Paulie all the time. So anyway, Nicole, okay, no, the feeds go down for a little while. They come back, and Nicole and Victor are having like this weird argument in the kitchen. I don't know, well, heated discussion. So Nicole's asking Victor, are you mad at me? Because you won't even look at me, and it's like really weird, and I don't know, it's weird. So Victor was like, yeah, I heard that you were saying that I've been like malicious towards you, and like he brings up freaking Dategate from weeks and weeks and from months ago. Remember how Nicole was going around saying that Victor tried to ask her out on a date for after the show's over? So he's pissed that that kind of came up again, and Nicole's like, clearly someone is trying to get you mad at me when you can't even play the HOH this week. Is that a threat? I don't know, it's kind of weird. But Victor's like, never cared. I've already been evicted. I'm not afraid of anything like that. So Nicole's like, Victor, I never said that you were malicious. Like, no. So they sort of have a heated exchange there for a few more minutes. And it really seems like Victor is just trying to mess with Nicole before the next HOH competition. I mean, that's what I got from that, but I don't know, it's interesting. So after that, the feeds went down again, and I think that was it for until after the live show. But let me know what you guys are thinking right now about all this. I'm pretty sure Paulie's going to be going home unless he has the round trip ticket. There is that chance. It would be insane. But anyway, let me know what you guys think, and until tomorrow, much love.